What's going on, everyone? Moose here, Airguns, Michigan, and looky who I found wandering the streets of Texas looking for a place to hang out tonight. Cyclops Joe.
What's up, dude? Can those guys see me now?
Yeah. What are the chances of finding this dude just like, bro, you got anything going on? I was like, yeah, you. So, very cool, man. Thanks for coming to hang out, and we're gonna wait for a few people to join in. What's up, Allie? We're gonna wait for a few people to join in, and we'll start chit-chatting along, man. But how's it going, man? How's your day doing? Good?
Going good, man. I went out and did most of my videos, man. I have like a talking head part of it, and on the product reviews, then I show the up close and show how it works. And I had to go out filmed 3 of the intros today, and I'll go out and I'll do them in bunches. So I'll bring a bunch of different shirts and shit like that. And
right.
I went out and did 3 intros today because I think I've got like 16 or 18 scopes in the closet I've got to get reviews done on, and I've probably got another dozen that's already shot. I just got to get them edited. And I actually love editing, but I've got way behind on it, and I'm trying to catch up.
Right. Yeah, I was looking at ATNs today, and and I've been on the fence about the ATN thing for a long time, man. But part of me is like, it'd make a great scope for deer hunting on my Texan, and make a great scope for popping raccoons and trash pandas on my my Maverick or my Impact, and it's not like a scope that I would want to like leave on one particular gun to be like like a range gun or something, but it is kind of intriguing, man. And and I keep putting them in my checkout box, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy it today. I did the same thing, and I closed the page, and I'm like, man, I'm not gonna buy it today.
Yeah, dude, everybody's had their own experience. I've had crummy luck with them.
Yeah, I hear that too.
They're so finicky, and the footage that you get out of them is just awful, man. I think what I really want to try is that, I think it's pronounced PARD, P-A-R-D.
Yeah, the PARD.
They got one that's like about this big and about the size of a beer can. I want to get one of those and try it out, man, because I've been seeing some good footage coming out of those. But those ATNs, man, the guys that I know that's getting good footage, man, they're really having to do a lot in post to make the footage look right. They don't, it doesn't come clean out of the camera. And those say 4K, but hell, it looks like VHS tape. It's awful, man.
My buddy David's in here, Michigan Air Gunner, and he just released a video today, which, thanks, David. I appreciate the shout outs on your channel today. And I went ahead and actually posted that out on Facebook, trying to grab you some more subscribers yourself. But his footage looks really good. I don't know, maybe I'll have to, and when I mentioned wanting to get an ATN, David was like, you're never going to regret it, and so I'm like you, I hear some people say, man, these things blow. And I hear other people say, dude, I love them.
Well, it's like the Tacticams. I had a couple of Tacticams, man, and I got some really good footage out of them. But the thing with the Tacticams, I was hooking up to the scopes. I'm hooking these things up to $3,000 scopes. So, yeah, the footage should look good.
Right.
But the guys I'm seeing hooking them up to, normal everyday scopes, a lot of the Tacticam footage looks bad, man, and they're really hard to adjust and get just right.
Yeah.
I know they're working on it, man. The guys at Tacticam, they're so cool, but honestly, man, I haven't found a single mount on a scope camera setup that I like, except for the one that Earless is using at O'Brien, the Iguana Hunter, and then the one that Claudio uses at Patagonia Airguns. That's the only 2, but
right.
But then again,
I run the side shots.
Yeah,
I've got the phone one and the GoPro one, and these things work great, man. I don't have any issues with these, but I can't see at night.
Yeah, and see,
that's
what they're using you know, but again, you know, they don't, you know, they're hooking them up to Valdotas and Collis, so they should look good. And
Right.
Michigan Airgun is right, man. They, you know, they won't work with everything.
Right.
You know, like,
Yeah, and that's actually why I got rid of my Tacticam. Is it worked okay on a few scopes, but I never really had good luck on my element optics. Like it just didn't seem to want to line up right with the elements. And it won't work on my Athlon because it's got the illumination on the reticle part, so I can't slide it onto that one. And then it did work okay on my Aztec, but I mean that's only one scope, you know. It's like you know, it's frustrating, you know. So you know, like
I give a shout out to my buddy Mitch. What's up, Mitch? That's one of the coolest guys in Airguns, man.
Skinny Mitch,
yeah, Mitch
I know that's right.
Yeah, he's cool. But yeah, you know, there's so many of those that mount on the scopes, man. And I know a lot of guys, you know, they ask me with the scope footage that I got, what am I using? It's like, dude, I'm using, you know, I've got a pretty extensive setup to get that footage, and it's not portable. You know, the tripod itself weighs about 20 pounds, and it's got a geared head on it with lenses, and I've got hoods and everything else to get that footage out of it. But the reason I don't use a GoPro with a side shot or something like that on my videos, and I've tried them, is the footage is not as good as I could get with a telescopic lens and 4K camera.
Right.
You know, and you know, and that, since that kind of turned into my niche, which I wasn't intending it to, but that turned into my niche, so I take it real serious, trying to get the best footage I can. You know, because nobody's got access to all of these. You know, used to, when I was a kid, there were sporting goods stores that basically had every brand. By every brand, there was about 10 back then, you know, and you could see everything. And it's not like that now. There's no place you can go to look at all of these optics at one time. You know, that's right. When I try to, you know, when I'm filming, like I don't do any color correction in post. You know, whatever comes out of the camera on this native app, I don't use any particular app. I just use the native camera app, and that's what goes on YouTube. You know, and it gets me in hot water sometimes with some of these companies, because, you know, when I'm filming the turrets and showing how it tracks, you know, it's on screen right there for everybody to see. If it works, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, and I'm not going to change it up or just keep doing it over and over till I get a good result. You know, a lot of the scopes, they don't give you a good result. You know, and like I say, a lot of the companies don't like it, man, when I put that stuff out there and they're like, hey, dude, you know, you said this didn't line up or this tracked poorly or it did that. It's like, dude, it did. Look at the, you know, look at the video. You know, it's right there on camera, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, that's one thing that, like, you know, like that was some of the best advice that you gave me, you know, months ago. We first started talking, and it was, you know, just be honest. You know, be honest and don't bullshit nobody, because the second you get caught bullshitting, your channel life's over, dude. Because nobody's gonna trust what you say anymore, and that's one reason that I like to try to shoot my videos all in one fluid shot. So there's no editing. There's no, oh, where'd Moose go? Like, whoa, what happened? You know, or hold on, you know, let me get resituated. It's like, I'd rather just be prepared, do it, and whatever the outcome is what the outcome is. You know, then you guys know that I'm giving you the best, you know, that I have. And plus I really suck at editing. So it's easier just to shoot it all in one take.
I'll work with you on it, man. I hated that, man. When I first started YouTube, I absolutely hated editing. And as crazy as it sounds now, man, it's one of my favorite parts, because except for, you know, I mean, guys give me shout outs all the time. Hey, man, thanks for calling it like it is. You know, and I tell guys, it's easy. I don't have any sponsors. You know, I've never taken a dime for any of my videos except on an affiliate for Arkin and the YouTube ad money, but I've never taken any money up front. So, and there's so many scope companies. If I piss a few off, who cares? There's 200 or 300 companies. And as the channel has grown, even the ones that may not care for the way I talk or, you know, some of the crap I say in my videos, they might not like that shit. But
Oh,
at the
I
same
laughed
time,
my ass off.
it's like, dude, if you're gonna look up scopes on YouTube, you cannot miss my one-eyed ass. I put up so many videos now. It's just kind of scattershot coverage on YouTube. You know, you can't look scopes up on YouTube without finding me, unless you're just purposely. It's like, I'm not gonna watch this son of a bitch. You know, I'm gonna dodge his videos. But unless you're doing that, you're gonna see them.
Yeah. What's up, the beard there, Gunner? We see you, brother.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. And I mean, you know, going back to what I was saying about shooting my videos straight through, I don't know if you guys could tell by what I was doing, but when I shot that video doing a parody of you, like I was saying some shit in there that had my insides just jiggling around because I was trying not to giggle. Because I mean, especially, you know, like the tub full of freaking midgets and KY. I mean, dude, I wanted to laugh so freaking hard. Just and this is all this. Look, I didn't write shit down. I'm just, you know, I'm like free flowing and thinking about things that you say and things that were funny and you know, just doing it. But you know, that's realism, right? And that's to me, that's kind of what I like to do with my channel is you know, if I make a mistake, and I did. There was actually one video that I did where it was on pesting with air guns, and somebody had put out some really bad information and was like basically telling people, if you don't have room to shoot at home, just go start a pesting company and go shoot up somebody else's yard. Yeah. And I was like, dude, no, it's the worst thing you could do. And I made reference and I used the word firearm, and I didn't intend to. It just kind of popped out, but I was trying to prove to people that, listen, man, when you pull that trigger, I don't care if it's a slingshot, a bow, a blowgun, an air gun, a Red Ryder, an FX Impact, it don't make no difference. Wherever that projectile lands, whether it's a person, a chunk of property, or a dog, or whatever, you own it. And you know, and that's the way it is. You can't
pull it back.
Yeah, exactly. You can't take it back. So, you know, it's like, you know, we as air gun ambassadors, and that includes everybody that's watching this video, right? Because you're not watching this video because you're into hot rods and naked chicks, and you just happen to stumble upon Air Guns of Michigan and decided, right. Right. Well, I mean, I was trying to exclude, you know, but you know, so, you know, we have to be ambassadors of this sport. And that means that, you know, we can all have a good time. We can drink beer when we're not, you know, I mean, I'm not shooting an air gun right now. I'm not, I'm not drunk, but, you know, we just got to be smart because, you know, we certainly don't want this world to turn on air guns like they are on firearms.
Right. And I,
you know,
really bad. I don't know about your experience, man, but for me, when my channel was newer and it was smaller, there was probably a group of about 10 or 12 of us that had channels that were roughly around the same size. And of that group or 10 or 12, every single one of them at one time or another told me, dude, you got to quit talking about cocaine and midgets and strippers and, you know, drinking during your videos and, you know, cursing and, you know, the crap that you say. And it was just like, hey, dude, you know, I work at a factory, man. Me and the guys, we hang out at sports bars, man. My wife's got a skin thick as an elephant. There ain't nothing I can say that she ain't already heard a million times, you know, and she's a great sport. But, you know, the guys were like, hey, man, you won't be politically correct and you won't do this. And it's like, man, you know, let me just do me. Right. And the one guy, man, that really, and his channel, we couldn't be more different in the way we speak on YouTube, the way we act on YouTube and stuff like that, that was really supported was Steve Shalley, man, at AEAC. Steve told me, man, just, you know, be yourself, do your thing. He said, that's definitely not how I would do it. But if that's you being you, be you, man. And, you know, and have fun with it. And what's wild now, all these channels that I'm referring to, and I'm not going to call any of them by name, but, you know, none of them are, I don't think any of them have more than 10,000 subscribers, you know, these 4.5 years later. And I don't know where mine's at. I know it's over 60, but I don't know where it's at, you know, but I think a lot of that, seriously, man, I think a lot of it has to do with the niche I fell into with the scopes, but I think a lot of it too is people connect with somebody. You know, I tell people, if you met me on YouTube, you met me in person. I'm the exact same dude. Right. You know, I'm not trying to be one guy on camera and then a different son of a bitch, you know, when I meet you in person.
Right.
And,
right. No, listen, and I hear you, and you know, and that's one thing that, like, I know you had that same conversation with me. You said, you know, Moose, you know, you might, you know, because I'm trying to clean up the way I speak, and you know, and this and that, and you know, I look at it like that's exactly it. Like when we meet at RMAC, Moose is Moose. I don't
right.
change. You know, as a matter of fact, I might even get a little goofier, but I'm there to have a good time, and you know, and I'm there to be me. And you know, one of my favorite hats is cocaine and hookers, man. And you know, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. Y'all use your imagination, man. We're all big boys here. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I ain't got nothing to lie about or hide about. And you know, and I like to have a good time. And you know, and I'm not here on YouTube to try to be a millionaire, right? If
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
on
yeah.
YouTube to be a millionaire, I wouldn't be doing Airguns. I'd be
No.
doing little kid Lego games. I'd be doing toy reviews, or I'd be saying the dumbest stuff in the entire world and throwing food all over my kitchen. Because
Oh,
those
man,
are
we'd
the
be
guys
sitting.
that make millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah, man. We'd be sitting around braiding each other's hair like a couple of bitches and putting
Right.
makeup on and dresses. Oh, yeah, we'd get rich like that.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean,
Just a
exactly,
bunch
right?
of good old boys having fun on YouTube.
Right.
If it's gun related, nah. I
Right.
used to tell guys a lot, man, that because I'm retired now, and this is I retired early, so my retirement income is not that great. So YouTube is actually probably my primary income, right? Well, not probably, it is my primary income right now. And but I tell guys all the time, man, if you want to make some money, go rake yards, go work at a convenience store, man, do anything, because it took about 5 years. Well, November will be 5 years that my channel's been public. I actually made videos for a year or so, but nobody ever saw them, and they were gunsmithing type videos. And when guys would ask me something, I just send them a link.
I saw them. I commented on some recently where you did like the bluing and the stock restorations and stuff.
Yeah, and after a while, guys were just inundating me with emails. Hey, man, send me the hell how you did this, how you did that. And Brian Messler that owns Airguns West, I've been on Brian a long time before I ever had a channel for you on Airguns West or anything. And Donnie FL, I've been knowing Donnie, man, when he was building that shit out of PVC in his backyard, you know. But they were telling me, man, just make your channel public. Just make it public, and people will find it, and they won't mess with you no more. And I thought, okay, I'll just do that. And then guys like say, how'd you do that stock finish, man? How'd you do the coat blue, and how'd you do this and how'd you do that? And I just started liking it. You know, I was having fun, and at the same time, I'd had some health problems. I was off work a lot, so I couldn't get to the range. I couldn't shoot because I couldn't like cock an air rifle. Couldn't carry a tank for a PCP. I just couldn't physically do much of anything. But I had a bunch of scopes laying around. I've always loved the optics, and I started watching these other guys' scope reviews, and I thought, they kind of suck, man. Most of them just hold it up like I'm holding this up. Check out my scope, see my scope, and just talking about it. Just like, dude, I want to see through it. I want to see what it looks like down range. I want to hear the turrets click and all that shit. And I just got to thinking, man, I can do better shit than this. You know, I can beat what these guys are doing. And I have my own way of what I wanted to do. It's like Rex Tybor shooting, 1,500 yards in the desert stuff. I can't do that. I don't have access to that kind of stuff. But as far as precision reviews on a range, I can do that.
Right.
So I just started doing that, man, and it really took off. And I told Brian, man, at Airguns West, I really wanted to do airgun reviews, man. That was my passion, to do airgun reviews. And he told me, dude, sometimes your path picks you. You don't pick it, just roll with it. If you're getting views, people are enjoying it, and you're helping people, man, just enjoy it. So now I love it, just doing scopes, man, and meeting all these guys that own the companies, guys that design the scopes, the managers and sales managers and reps and stuff from all of these different optics companies, and getting all their input. And it's a lot of fun, man. There's some optics companies I don't have any type of relationship with. That doesn't mean they're bad, and I'm not down on them or anything. But there's others, we'll all go out shooting together, man, get together and have beer, and all go out to eat and stuff like that, man. It's interesting, man. It's like the YouTube, man. There's kind of a little brotherhood, and in the optics deal, there's a lot of optics companies, man. I'll go hang out with these guys, you know, and it's a lot of fun, man. And the good ones can take criticism.
Right.
The weak ones can't, man. If they've got something to hide, they don't like criticism, man. But the ones that, you know, are pretty secure in where they're at, you know, I can make a video and it's like on the SWFAs, man. And I love Chris and them from SWFA, man. They were one of my first big supporters. And as far as being able to send me gear to review and stuff like that, and they were the first ones to let me keep a scope. And, you know, I tell guys all the time, man, like the SS is $300. There's not a better tracking scope on the market for $300. Optically, it's about average. You know, it just is, man. The money's in the mechanics. And, you know, a lot of the optics companies, man, they don't want to hear that. You know, all they want to hear is, man, you can't beat this scope, period. Don't put that but in there. They don't want to hear that shit.
Right.
You know, and they get kind of touchy about it. But these are the companies, man, I don't have any, you know, I've either had a falling out with them over that, or I just don't, you know, deal with their companies. There's other ones like Cytron. I've got a real high opinion of the Cytron scopes, but I've never done any reviews because I've reached out to them, never heard back, and I have enough scopes coming in from other companies. I don't have to beat the bushes to get them. You know, I just, you know, I don't have a relationship with them. Doesn't mean they're, like I say, that that's not a knock on them in any way. You know, Cytron makes some really nice stuff. It's just, you know, I deal, you know, when some of the other similar companies are calling me up, hey, dude, we got scopes coming, you know, come on up and have some beer with us and stuff like that. And, you know, when I meet them, they're sending me scopes home. When I already got enough work, I'm not, like I said, I'm in a lucky position now. I don't have to go out and look for optics to review. They come looking for me.
Right,
so,
right.
And believe me when I tell you, anybody, any of you guys are watching, I like Mitch and a lot of these other guys have their own channels, man. And believe me when I say, I realize how extremely lucky I am to be in that position. You know, I don't take it for granted a second.
Right. Yeah, and you know, and that's, you know, I'm just now starting to get to a point where companies are starting to reach out more and more to me, and or companies are taking me more seriously when I, you know, send them an email. Like they actually respond now, right?
Right.
Like Accutech, like woo, you know, I mean, when they're one of my new sponsors now, and
they're a great company, man. Those are
and they are, and you know, it's kind of funny. My wife pipes up, I want a cabinet in an auction, just an FYI. Thanks, honey. Thanks. I'm looking forward to finding a place for that cabinet. But I think somebody else earlier said something about, you know, Moose, why don't you reach out to ATN about having them send me one to review. And I did. And Steve was gracious enough to get back to me. And because I'm the new guy and we don't have any prior dealings, which is not uncommon in my boat right now, you know, they did offer me one at a discounted rate. But honestly, it was the same price as what I could buy a refurb from. And I'm certain that they were going to send me a refurb anyway. So it was cool. It was nice of them to do that, and I'm going to buy a refurb anyway, and you know, maybe moving forward I can do something different. But
for me, I you know, I don't, either the scopes are donated to my channel. I don't pay for any of the scopes any of the guys see on my channel, and I don't make any excuses like I do. Now, occasionally I will, and when I do, I'll make sure and let the guys know I bought this. But 99% of what you see on mine, I don't pay for. But there are scopes that I'll get, and I, you know, have to send it back, or it's a newer scope coming in the country, and they want, you know, several YouTube guys to be able to get it, and especially when it's an expensive scope. So when I get through with it, I'll forward it, and then when they get through with it, they'll forward it, and so on and so on. But you know, as far as buying stuff at this, especially optics.
Send Joe, forward me one.
Yeah, I get a ton of them, man. And
I know you do.
I'm gonna try to send you an ARC, and I've got I think I've got like 7 of them in the closet right now, man. And there's probably, I mean, there's some of them have small problems, like a little cosmetic issue or something. They send something back to ARC, and they just sit in inventory. They just put them
Right.
back. And anybody that's ever bought a scope from overseas, by the time you send it back over there and you get it back, it costs more than it's worth. So, the factories just credit it to them or send them a replacement. So,
Right.
but they sent me some of these scopes. I'm gonna do some destruction tests on them. And
Nice.
but there's a couple of them. Like there's one that works great. It's just the magnification doesn't work. It's stuck on about 12 power, but everything else works perfect. I've got another one that where they anodized it. Evidently somebody touched it, and the anodization didn't take right, so it's cosmetically flawed. But I mean, it works great. So they sent me a bunch of these things. I'm gonna take one out, and I'm gonna drive a truck over one, and then I'm gonna do that sniper shot. I'm gonna shoot one right through it. And,
Nice.
like I say, I'm just gonna trash them, man, because they told me, man, don't give them away, man. Don't do anything with them. Just we gave them to you to trash on video and have a fun video with. So that's what I'm gonna do with them. But yeah, I get. It's weird, man, and with the optics, it's not like the air gun or the gun thing, because these sales manager, man, there's a huge turnover. It's gigantic, man. In the optics industry, there's probably a 40% turnover annually, and that's no exaggeration. And guys that you'll build a relationship up with, 6 weeks later they're gone, 6 months later they're gone. Like Vista Outdoors, man, me and that guy, I'd known him for a couple of years, and Weaver, Bushnell, Savage, Federal, CCI, man, you name it, dude. That would load me up with shit. Then this guy took another job, and now I call Bushnell or Vista Outdoors. It's just crickets. It's like
Right.
he was the only guy I knew, and now he's not there. So,
Right.
I don't have anybody to call back. But like, Utah Airguns, AOA, those kind of guys, Pyramid Air. If you meet them all this year, 3 years from now, it's all the exact same crew. Maybe one or two guys have changed. But all the core group is always still there. But it's not like that in optics, at all. Like I said, the guys that I run around with in the optics industry are the guys that own the companies. They're not the employees, because the employees just roll over, man. It's insane, man, how quick they, come and go.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing the video that your shirt represents. If you guys have not seen the Iraqi veteran 8088 range day videos that have been popping up here and there on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you guys definitely need to check it out, man. I am super jelly that you got to go, because I personally love watching Iraqi veteran 8088. And if you guys don't subscribe to his channel, do yourself a favor. And certainly, if you don't subscribe to this guy's channel, I don't know where you guys have been, but definitely subscribe to his channel, and definitely go check out Iraqi veteran 8088. He's a great Second Amendment guy, and he's just got some great videos, and a lot of airgun stuff as well. So it's not just firearm stuff. He does a lot, man, a lot, and it's really good video stuff.
I'm shocked every year, man, when they invite me. Honest to God, man. First time they invited me, it's been about 4 years ago, man. My channel, it was small, man, and they invited me, and I emailed them back and told them, I said, I think you may have the wrong channel, And but what it was, man, I met Eric at the Texas Airgun show years back, and we hit it off. They just sitting around having a conversation. They're good people anyway. And when he saw my channel, he said, "Well, I'm gonna go ahead, invite you to this thing." And that first year, I think the first 2 years I was invited, man, for health reasons I couldn't go. And then I went to it in 2019, and it was great, man. But it was a monsoon the whole time. Of course, COVID knocked it out last year, but we went just about. I think I've been back in town almost a week now. I'm still a little burnt out from the road, but I put up a video, man. I was real proud of the video, and but it's it's an incredible time, and I think they're doing it again in October.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, if the guys that are watching know who Roger Lade is, his channel's Triple G. So he was going to fly in and go with me, because I could bring one guest, and Roger was going to come in. Well, you can't fly into the U.S. from the U.K. because of COVID. So they're going to do it again in October. Me and him are going to go to that, or that's the plan. Then the next weekend, we're going to go to Georgia, hang out, do the Iraq veteran. Then we're going to jump in my car and drive across the country to Arizona from Georgia, which is about 30 hours or some insane shit like that.
Right.
And then we're going to go to EBR.
Yeah,
because that's
actually, we're driving to Armac, and the first guy that's starting the journey is in Pennsylvania, Doug Dishler, and he's gonna swing by and pick me up, and then we're gonna pick up another guy in Minnesota, and then we're heading to Armac, and in the beginning we thought we had it all figured out, like this guy Doug's got a camper trailer he can tow behind his truck. And the more I started thinking about it, I'm going, dude, it's 24 hours from my house to Utah.
Yeah.
24 hours. Like, bro, do you have any idea what kind of hotel we could stay at? What kind of first class airline tickets we could get for the amount of gas money it would take to haul that big ass camper across
the
country?
Hell yeah.
I'm like, dude, even with 3 of us, dude, I'm like, no way, man. It'd be cheaper to mail my guns to Utah because I won't fly with my guns.
Oh man, and you can we do Airbnb. I got a group of guys that we stay together, or that I did. That may change this year, but we rent houses, man. And like the last time we went to Armac, we were right across from BYU, and we had we had a nice house. It was like I think it was like 5 or 6 bedrooms and probably 3,000 square feet, 2-story. It was great. And I think we paid, I don't remember, man, we were there like 4 or 5 days. And I think it was about $400 or $500 that we split up. Man, it's real cheap. And at EBR, it's even cheaper because all the snowbirds, they come to Phoenix when it's cold.
Oh, yeah.
So there's all these houses. And dude, we rented a house this last EBR. Oh man, it was wicked. It had a putting green out back, swimming pool, separate jacuzzis and stuff. Man, it was it had to be close to 3,500, 4,000 square foot. But yeah, my group may be breaking up because Dave Quarter, he makes those targets for AOA, those metal targets. That's what he does. He makes all those targets, and then, or he did until recently. And then John Bagakas, who's just an incredible shooter, Dave is too, but they're both Day State team shooters now. So they may be staying at the Day State house, and I'm staying with Steve from Airgun Evolution channel. I'm sure some of the guys here have seen that.
Yeah.
Me and Steve, and then a buddy of ours, Brian, he goes by Ink Shooter online. Brian's really cool. He can shoot too. And then who else? Christian. That's on Airgun Nation a lot. Goes by Intensity 22. His channel is Airgun Supremacy, and he stays with us. But we kind of have a group, and we all stay together and stuff. So we're all kind of on the same page, man. None of us, we're not a bunch of hell raisers. We're not gonna go get into a bunch of shit. We're gonna sit around, drink some beer. We're bored. I mean, we
don't invite Moose.
We're talking. We talk a lot of shit, but we're boring as hell. And these guys are all pretty serious competitors. I'm not. And, but as a matter of fact, for Armac, I think I've already missed the registration. I mean, I'm going, but the only thing open as of earlier today or yesterday was the 100-yarder, and I'm not going to pay $300 to go shoot the 100-yarder.
Right.
So I'm just going to go and hang with the guys,
Right.
And they don't have a Springer division at Armac. And I think EBR still does, but that's where my interest really lies, is the Springers. Yeah. And if they don't have one, to be competitive in the PCP, I mean, one, you got to have a perfect gun. It takes a lot of time to get it tuned right, and you got to practice, man. I mean, I know of the past winners like Shane Keller, Ted. Hell, I talked to Shane on the phone yesterday. A bunch of these real badass guys, man, that, can really shoot. Matt, I talked to Matt yesterday. The guys that are really, really good. If you're not, they'll tell you, man, Ted told me after he won it, the next year, he said, man, I'm going to get my ass kicked because I'm not practicing. And there's so many really good shots. If you're not practicing, you don't stand a chance. Even in the amateur division, man.
Right.
The guys that win the amateur division, man, they'll tell you, man, I've been shooting every single day for 6 months. Rain or shine, no matter what, and you have to, man, to be able to win. It's a tough competition, man. It's a ton of fun, man. I love it, man. Getting to, it's 1 or 2 times a year, man, you get to see all the guys.
Right.
So
exactly. Right.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure that I probably would have went had it not been for Crawford and Lipt. Now that I'm a team, guy with Crawford and Lipt, they take care of our registration, and
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. So, it is a perk, but honestly, dude, when you think about that and you say like, oh, here's Moose. This is my first major competition. I'm in pro class. And it's like, yeah, right. Honestly, I shoot a lot. I do shoot a lot. I probably shoot 2 tins of pellets a week minimum out of my 30 cal bench rest gun. That's at 100 yards. Yeah. So I'm familiar with my gun, but
right.
Honestly, if I place in the money, man, it's because Jesus came down and was like, I'm going to bless you on this one, kid. You're going to do all right on this one. I got it. Just pull the trigger out.
A really good goal, man, is to be able to shoot Sunday. If you're shooting Sunday, man, you shot good.
Right.
There's a lot of good shooters that don't make it to Sunday. As a matter of fact, at RMAC 2 years ago, Ken Hicks, man, he's by far one of the best shooters in the country, man, in Airguns. And they have 2 separate ranges, and they took Ken actually had like the 15th overall high score, and they take 40, but in Ken's group, he was number 6. So he didn't even though he was 15th overall, he was 6th in that group and didn't qualify.
Right.
So it's hard to make it to Sunday, man. I got at EBR 3 years ago, I would have shot Sunday, and I threw a gun getter at the last minute, 100% my fault. I was there to shoot springers.
Right.
And it's like, hey, dude, you're registered for the 75-yard. You might as well shoot it. So anyway, me and Ken Hicks just threw a gun together. Man, I literally took a scope out of the box, threw it together, and it wasn't even on paper. We had never shot it. And the gun we had, it was one of his main guns, but we had shot it with that optic on it. And I trued it up and just shot at the bottom of the target. The targets are big, man. They're the size of a door. And anyway, I just shot at the very bottom of the target just to see where I hit. Well, I hit about that high off the bottom of the target. And I thought, okay, that's close. And I just got it, zeroed it in, and then moved over and shot at a dirt clot out there until I got on target. And I thought, well, the next one you could shoot, I think it was 3 practice shots. So I thought, well, that's close enough to get me in the circle on practice shot, and then I dial it in. So I finished, man, and I shot good. But that one that I shot in the bottom of the target, just try to get it on paper, it's counted as a 0. So I ended up, I would have been in 3rd place going into Sunday, ended up in 11th place. Missed it by 1 slot and didn't get to shoot in the championship Sunday. And like I say, it's my fault. But
right.
It's, it's there. And the guys that haven't been before, don't get me wrong, the guys you know of, that can shoot, but there's a shit load of them that guys have never heard of that are badasses, man. There's some incredible good shooters there.
Right.
They just don't, they're not, sponsored by any companies. They don't have a dog in the fight. They just shoot. That guy that, Nikolai that won it, that he's known for that Rust Bear camera setup.
Yep.
Dude, at EBR a year and a half ago, man, when I say he kicked everybody's ass, he beat their ass. Normally, it's really close, 1 point, 2 points between the first, couple, 10 points between first through 50th, Man, he beat everybody by probably 20 points. He stomped their ass. That son of a bitch can shoot, Right. But there's a ton of them just like that, man. Ernest Rowe, guys that are into PCPs know Ernest, Ernest can shoot, man. Travis from Airgun Depot. Everybody knows Travis. That's
Oh,
something that
now
you
he's with
shoot there.
Utah, but yep.
Yeah. Travis can shoot too, man. There's a ton of them, man. A ton of them, dude.
Well, you know,
That
it's funny that you bring up springers because I have recently found a new love for springers. I bought a HW 97K, and I'm loving it. As a matter of fact, I just spent like 3 hours today at Vortec, dropping my gun off to Tom. And what an amazing guy. And he's gonna tune the ever living shit out of my 97.
yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to it because I'm serious. Like, every Springer that I shot prior to owning like a nice Springer was like twang. I mean, the gun goes off, and man, it
Right.
feels like your teeth are gonna rattle out of your face. And if you're not holding that thing like a clay block, I mean, it's all over, dude.
Right.
You're gonna miss your target, and you're gonna hit the neighbor's cat. I mean,
Yeah.
just that's the kind of Springers that I shot. And there are a group of guys that can really shoot those well, but man, dude, there ain't nothing like he let me shoot through some of his guns today, and I'm telling you, not one of those guns like had any kind of like major twang or issue or anything.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
quiet, smooth. I mean, I'm talking, I shot everything from RWS through Diana, through Viroc, through Air Arms. I mean, dude, I shot them all. And it was insanely awesome. So
Oh, dude, if
I
I
have
see you
this
there,
new
man,
appreciation now for Springers. So,
I'm bringing my to EBR if they have the Springers. I've got a Diana 75. It's a recoilless rifle. It was made in about 76, 77.
right
And
on.
that's what I shoot. I shoot the old Olympic 10-meter rifles, and they're usually about 6 to 6.5 foot-pounds. And if the wind's blowing, man, I give up a lot because mine's shooting so slow and it's so light. But
Yep.
I will be at EBR one day when the wind's not blowing, and when it's not, I'm gonna tear them a new asshole,
And
man.
somebody's going to get a mud hole stomped in their
Dude,
ass.
I took my FWB when Airgun Depot was doing that golf ball challenge at 100 yards, and we set up the cameras and stuff, man. And I got it all dialed up, and the scope's sitting on it like this, because it's just coming in like artillery. But we got out there one morning before the wind was blowing, and right after daylight, and it was still. And I shot it, and I hit it the first shot, the second shot, but it wasn't moving it. On tape later, you can see it moving. We couldn't see it moving it from 100 yards in the spot scope. And missed it the third, and then the fourth shot, it nicked it. It wouldn't even bust the little golf ball, that little plastic golf ball. But I hit it 3 out of 4 shots at 100 yards, man.
Wow.
And it'll do. And don't get me wrong, dude. I'm not a good shot. I'm an average shot at best.
Right.
But the gun is it's effortless. I mean, it's like shooting a precision rimfire. You don't have to worry about any follow through. You don't do anything. And guys that shoot PCPs think that their guns are recoilless. They're not. They're not recoilless. A true recoilless rifle. I filmed through a side shot on that Diana 75. I filmed through a side shot on it in my backyard, and there's not even a vibration of the crosshair. You pull the trigger, and there's just a pellet going downrange. It looks like the scope is mounted in a fixture above the gun.
Wow.
It is truly recoilless. Now it's not the quietest thing in the world. It sounds about like a 97 when it's off, but it's got pistons that go in different directions, so it offsets
Right.
that movement. And you shoot it, and
Yep.
you just go thump, and I mean it's just a pellet going down range. So when you find the right pellet, out of it, you get the right pellet that shoots right out of it. It's just a matter of, man, are you holding the wind right? Because it'll just, it'll do. I mean, it seriously, man, will shoot with it won't shoot with a raw or one of the really accurate day states or something at 50 yards. It won't do that. But you take something like a Marauder, a Hatson, the Cattleman or something like that. Oh yeah, it'll shoot with them all day long.
Right.
It is a true
Right.
Springer.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not saying anything stupid like it'll outshoot one of the Raws or something. Those are terrifying accurate rifles. Those are like
Right.
shooting a freaking Winchester 40x22. It's just It's just a matter if the ammo's perfect. It's just one small hole, no matter where you shoot it.
That's my HW97K at 50 yards. So
It's a good
yeah,
shoot, man.
I mean, it ain't bad. It ain't bad. Like, I mean, like I said, especially for not being a Springer guy.
Yeah.
PCP's ruined it for me, dude.
Yeah. They'll make you
it's
sloppy.
it's one of them things, man, that like the day that I shot my first PCP, I was just like, whoa. Like,
Yeah.
wow. Like, I can really shoot some cool shit with this thing. But even that, like, I mean, that at 50 yards to me, I mean, that's squirrel all day long at 50 yards. That's bunny all day long at 50 yards. And it's just mind-boggling. So.
Well, and for me, because I shoot my air guns mainly in the backyard, I can shoot diagonally across my yard. It's right at 50. But from my back porch, where my bench is set up, to the back fence and my target is 38 yards. Well, with a really accurate PCP, I mean, if I'm shooting for score, at 25 yards, it's still fun, with a bench rest gun, trying to see what I can shoot. But just out there dicking around, shooting at thumbtacks and crap like that.
Take care, Mitch.
See you, Mitch. And, but, it's more fun with Springer because, with a PCP, man, at a certain distance, it's like it's not even fun, man. It's so easy. And if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. No, it does. I mean, honestly, with the majority of my accurate PCPs, life begins at 100 yards. Yeah, I mean, shooting 50, it's still hole and hole. I mean, shooting 75, okay, it's getting there, but it's not enough to make you go, woo, when you shoot an MOA.
And
right?
See, that's what kills me, man, when it comes to airgun scopes. Guys are like, I've got to have a scope that goes down to 10 yards. Now, if you're shooting field target and you need it, or you shoot in your basement, you live up north, you shoot in the winter, okay, I get it. But guys that live like I do, man, you live along the coast or you live in the South, if you're shooting 10 yards in your yard, that is not any fun, man. You don't need a scope.
Go get a brake barrel. Right.
Right. And when you are shooting that distance you take any given scope and it's a 25-yard parallax, or you turn it to 10 yards, it's not just a matter of threading that thing so it'll turn on the front. You start cutting that, the distance down, the minimum distance, that field of view just does like this. And I mean, all through the power range, all through the distance, there's no way to get around it. You have up that field of view to get that short focus. And I'll be out, like I'll go to, when I went to EBR 2 years ago, and I had a Bushnell Match Pro, and it went down to 25 yards. And all the guys are looking at it, because that's a $500 scope, and guys are looking at it, it's like, man, that is freaking incredible. And for $500, it really is. But they're like, man, why is that so much better than mine? It's like, because it doesn't go down to 10 yards. You're getting a huge field of view because it doesn't focus down that sharp. And if you don't need it, man, don't pay for it.
Right.
In optics, for everything you get, you give something up. If you get eye relief, you're giving up either field of view or you're giving up depth of field where, the focus is really, really close, which like field target guys, they want it to be a real shallow depth of field. And that's great. The only thing is when you get that real shallow depth of field like that, the eye box is incredibly fussy. You just can't throw up and shoot something. You're having to do this. And it's like looking through a damn, pen that's hollowed out. It's so small to try to get that eye box. And then there's other guys that's like, well, I want the shallow field of view, but I want a huge eye box. It's like, dude, you got to pick. It's kind of like, hey man, you want a real pretty sexy bitch that can swing on a pole, or you want one that can cook, because they're not the same girl. You're going to have to pick.
Right. Right. Unless she's putting herself through medical school, in which case you win. You win, dude. You win.
She's putting her way through school every time. That's exactly what she's doing, man. She's got a heart of gold. No way she's going home at night and giving her money to her meth dealing boyfriend. You're following around buying her drinks and calling her honey, and seriously, she does love you. It's not just in your head. She's there for you.
If she pulls out an 8-ball, you definitely got a winner.
Yeah, yes, exactly right, man.
Oh man, that's too funny, man. It's funny that you just said that earlier, and it's just now it's got me just like on that joke line.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually, man, be kind of good because I did a live stream. I guess it's been about a month ago, man, and I said something. It offended some guys, or it offended the guy hosting the live stream, and evidently it must have offended some of the guys that watched it. And it was, I thought, real benign, but they didn't. So I'm trying to clean it up, but at the same time, man, and I tell guys a lot, and I tell the optics companies at the same time that I've never had me do one of their videos. They're like, "Hey, man, we saw you had this many subscribers, man. We can do one of our scopes." And I'll tell them, "Dude, watch one of my videos before you send it to me."
Right.
Because
I'm probably trying to find one where I start mentioning midgets.
Right, because I'm not Such. I'm not
right.
like some of these other guys that, there's a pretty famous guy with an Airgun channel that, he never met a free piece of gear he didn't love. Because, oh man, this is the best of this. They can't all be the best. They really can't, and I have guys reach out to me a lot about the Element optics. And like the Nexus, man, it's a really nice scope. I really like that scope. It wouldn't be the one I would pick at $1,500, but if you wanted lightweight, and it does have a lot going for it. But like the Helix and the Titan, I think they're a fair scope, fairly priced. But they're not the best in their price range by any means. And I personally know Matt, Shane, I know Frederick, Ted, I know all of the guys behind it, and they are improving them, man. I'm getting a new Helix in. I'm getting a new Element in here in the next few weeks. They've got some new stuff coming, and they're improving them. And as they improve, if they are improvements, I'll say it. But like Athlon was the same way, Vortex was the same way. They all have growing pains.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you, man. And it's like, listen. My bench rest gun is sporting a Titan, and honestly, I love the Titan. It is clear glass. It tracks very well for me. I've never had any problems with mine, but it's a 100-yard bench rest gun, so I'm not dialing it all the time. I mean, very micro dials just to adjust for air temperature, where I'm at, things like that. The basic small dials. But I'm not taking that and tuning it down to 50 and then going to $150 and back down to 100. It stays at 100 yards. My first focal plane Helix, it's another nice scope. I think they kind of ripped everybody off when they didn't include illumination, because I don't think it should have not had illumination personally. But that's just me. But I'll be honest with you, man. I fucking love my Athlon scope.
Yeah. The only thing about illumination, man, is to get the manufacturer, like if guys have seen the Amazon scopes, where when the illumination is turned on, I mean, it halos inside. It's so bright. It's just an LED sitting in there running on a battery, and whenever it lights up, it lights up. But really good illumination, like digital illumination. I'm doing the dial video right now. I'm editing on, or like the Valdotas and stuff. Those digital illuminations from the factory, it's a minimum of $200 additional. Now that's to the manufacturer to have it built, so they're really expensive. Now the dial kind, the rheostat are not as expensive, but it's still expensive. And when you think about it, inside of those scopes, they got anywhere between a variable power between 14 and 18 lenses. There's tube assemblies, there's all those springs, there's the screws. It's got to have the clicks in it and everything else. It's hard to put a lot in there. And illumination, when the guys are trying to decide, do I want to, on a scale of 1 to 50 in the glass, if we're setting at a 25 to start off with, if we add illumination to bring it in at $400, we're going to have to drop the glass quality, or we're going to have to give up the stainless steel parts and go with brass. They've got to make a decision, because there's the only scopes out there I know of that are built where money be damned. We don't give a shit what it costs. We want the very best of every single thing out there. Is the Heinz Stolt, and it's $8,000. You know, that is truly state of the art Hubble
Right,
telescope type shit. But it's
right, yeah.
$8,000, and it
I
looks
can't
like,
even fathom.
and it looks like, I mean, if you saw this thing, it looks like something me and you put together in shop class in high school. We were stoned, you know, but it is solid as a rock. It has the very best, but everything else,
Take care,
man,
Dave.
it is a compromise, man.
Right.
You know, it's got you know, it's there, you know, there's very few scopes built that when they have them built, they're saying, okay, I want this tube, I want this reticle, you know, I want illumination, I want locking turret, zero stop, fast focus eyepiece, and you know, they name off all their wish list, but at the end of that, they're going to say, and it has to come in at this price. Every single one of them like that. The only other one that I know of is Val at Valdata when he designed the Recon G2. It comes out Light Optical Works, and he told Light Optical Works, I want a 40 millimeter tube, which they'd never done before. You know, I want a 56 millimeter bell, and I want the best components that you have. And when you get through doing that, you let me know how much it's going to cost me, and I'll either say yay or nay. So they sent him 2 prototypes, and he and a bunch of buddies torture tested the shit out of them. And they weren't sure that they wanted to pay that much money for a scope that came from Japan. It didn't come from Europe. But, you know, I think it was a wise decision, man. It's one of the best precision scopes on the market, you know, but the 99.997% are not built like that. You know, they don't say, give me the best of this, and this, and let me know what it's going to cost. They'll say, here's the features that I need, the magnification range that I need, and I need in this particular line, I need a 4 to 12, I need a 5 to 25, I need a 6 to 30, or whatever the magnification range, you know, range is available. And we're going to pay this much of it. And, you know, then they sit and negotiate, okay, where do we take the money out? Is it going to be in the is it going to be in the tracking? Is it going to be in the finish? Is it going to be, you know, in the glass? Is it going to be in the coatings? You know, all these things figure in. It's like, for me, one of the best bargain scopes in the world is a Savage. But you sneeze at a you know, I've got a Savage Precision was made in our custom shop. You know, it's like a $1,600 scope. You get close to it, it'll rust. You know, the bluing in it absolutely sucks. It just sucks ass, but it doesn't help with the performance. It's a performance-driven, you know, rifle. It's not nothing else. You know, they look like shit and everything else, but they shoot great. Where if you're going to build, you know, something like a Cooper or a Kimber, it's got to look good. You know, you want to shoot good, but you know, it's got to have, you know, this grade of wood. The bluing's got to be this deep. You know, that they everything's a compromise, man. Like I say, the only non-compromise optic out there I know of is that Heinz Stoke, and most people have never seen one in person. I've seen a couple. There's actually a local dentist that has a couple, and I've been out to range and, you know, got to play with them. But the Tangent Theta is probably another one that's no holds barred. But you know, everything's a compromise. Like that, what is that, Cattleman Airgun?
Yeah.
You know, I've watched the reviews and stuff on it, man. It looks like, for what you get, it looks like it's a really good bargain. It's kind of a cool looking air gun, in my opinion. But you can't put an air gun on the market at that price and expect it to compete with the precision air guns. There's just no way. You know, you can't.
Right.
You can't buy barrels that cheap, much less anything else.
No, no, not at all. I mean, you know, I tried to tell people too. I'm like, listen, I didn't intend to be an FX fanboy. That was never my intention. I never wanted to jump on anybody's bandwagon. But I have never owned an FX gun, and I've had a lot of them. And they are all just stupid accurate. Stupid accurate. And, you know, and I'm getting ready to get a Day State. I'm going to buy one of the Red Wolf Heritage limited editions. Mm-hmm. And I know what to expect. You know, I'm planning on buying a Raw coming up here in the next couple of months, and you know, and I know what to expect. But I will say this: one of the best scopes that I purchased, and half of the reason I purchased it was because of you, is for my HFT gun. I bought a BSA Gold Star SE, and I put a Hawk Sidewinder SR Pro 2 on it. and
Mm-hmm.
that scope is badass.
Yeah, Hawk's
I
got
mean,
some nice stuff, man. They
yeah,
they
that
really
is
do.
a great second focal plane scope, and I am not a second focal plane lover,
Mm-hmm.
but I get it with HFT why people say you should. Yeah, Rob, you suckered me into FX. Yeah, Rob's got a ton of FX guns as well, but
Yeah.
it's true. It's hard to argue. You know, you get the haters out there that are like, "Ah, they suck." You know, well, yeah, okay. Well, you know,
Well, I
I
like them, man, and I've got a. I actually had this conversation with somebody this last week when I was in Georgia. I've got an FX Impact that the guys at FX USA custom built for me. They built it for me for RMAC, and it'll shoot. It's a 30 caliber, man. I don't have to touch it. You know, Ernest put it together. They just Frankensteined it together. It's got one of the, I think it's the last, whatever it is, chrome or silver receivers they had and stuff. Like I say, it's a pretty gun. I dig it out, but it's buried in all this other shit. And it'll shoot, I mean, terrifying accurate. But the only thing is, I don't like, I'm not a PCP tuner. So I know if I keep screwing with this thing or if I keep shooting it, I'm going to blow an O-ring or it's going
right,
to come out of tune and I've got it, then I'm going to have to worry about trying to retune it and get it back to where it is. So it sets in the closet. It really does, man. It sets in the closet because it's like it's right the way it is, but I know it's not going to stay right. And that's what, like, for me, this is just me. Everybody has their own opinion, man. A lot of guys love all the dials and all the tuning. I don't. I want my air gun to be like a 22. I just load it
right,
with ammo, point, and it goes right there. And for
right.
me, the ones that have been the best like that have been like the Airguns. I've had several of those. The caliber gun crickets. I don't like the way the magazines load or anything else, but the caliber guns are really good. And but to be fair, all my caliber guns, Ernest put them together for me. But the most accurate air gun I think I've ever shot was a couple of different Raws. Those are, and I now to be fair, I haven't played with the Thomas as much. I've seen them and I've shot them, but I haven't got a chance to play with them. And I know they're all that, but I just I don't have any experience with them. But the Raws that I've shot and used, man, they're terrifying. Right now, if I was serious about going to EBR RMAC and trying to win it, and I was going to buy a gun, just me, it'd be a Raw. That
Yeah, there's no doubt, and it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because, like I said, yeah, I do plan on buying one in the next couple of months, and I thought about just reaching out to them and saying, "Hey, can I come down and shoot a video with you guys, and then be able to put together my own gun?" And be able to pick the parts, and can we walk through like assembly, and basically I walk out with the gun that I came there to buy. And and I'd like to see that happen because I think that and honestly, the for the price, I mean, it's the same price as buying an Impact or anything else. It's not like buying a Day State. Like I'm going to pay through the nose for that Heritage Limited Edition. I
yeah,
mean, there's no doubt. It's stupid money. It's ridiculous money, but it's an heirloom gun that I can hand down to my son when he gets older, and he could potentially hand it down to his son. And Day State's not going anywhere. Electronics are going to be available if something happens, so it's not like you can't fix the gun.
yeah.
But
Well, and
it's
for
like,
me, I got burned at RMAC on Day State. I was shooting a Day State. Dave Corder was shooting a Day State, and there's another guy that was from California shooting a Day State, and that's where Dave's also from. But all of us, man, and I don't have very many good shooting days, but every once in a while I'll have a good one. And I was having for me, a spooky good one. When I sat down and I saw how I was shooting, saw how the gun was performing, I knew I'm going to the championship round tomorrow without a doubt in my mind. And I'm shooting my ass off. I knew that was, and the gun was shooting great. 7 targets into it, the cocking lever started binding up. 2 more targets into it, you couldn't load it. Now the only way to fix it is a little pin that in there that starts coming out, and the guys from AOA are actually standing there, man. I'm at, Jared's watching me shoot, and he said, "Hey, dude, I can fix it, but it's going to take about 30 minutes. We got 15 to be running again." So I couldn't make the time frame. I had to scratch. Dave Quarter had to scratch. And this other guy from California had to scratch. Now, they weren't the only ones. The FX shooters, probably 4 of them had to quit because of equipment failure. And I'm not talking about my gun's not shooting right or something like that. Man, something went wrong with my gun. Here was the same way. Ted's gun went ape shit. I don't know what happened to it. You could reach out to Ted. He could tell you now. But there was a lot of, these gremlins that popped up where the guns just, quit functioning. And the guys with the Raws, the guys with the Airguns, there's nothing to screw up. You set the regulator, you set the hammer spring, and you just keep on shooting. And
Right.
don't get me wrong, those electronic day states, man, they're terrifying how well they shoot. But the more you bypass the plumbing, man, the easier it is to screw it up, and they're always going to go bad at the wrong time. And for me,
Right.
that really burnt my ass on day state. And I didn't buy the gun, man. Tom Adams, it was one of his personal rifles that, it was his backup rifle, and that's what he was letting me shoot, because he was shooting pro that evening, and it would still be his backup in case, he had a problem. But, less than 10 shots into it, man, and I'm shooting my practice round, and like I said, I could tell I'm really on it. Gun was shooting great, and a malfunction like that, and it was something stupid because it's just a roll pin inside cock and lever, and they just come out, and why they didn't, go in there and, you can put a divot in it where they won't come out, or use a freaking screw. And everybody was there shooting a day state knew that happens a lot. And it's like, y'all know this is happening, it's not being fixed. No, man, I'm out.
Right.
And dude, I know all the day state guys, man. I'm talking about the owner, Robert Buchanan, that imports them. I know all these guys, and I don't have an axe to grind against them. But, once you screw me, once I feel like, I lose confidence in it, it's kind of like losing confidence in a woman. Dude, I don't trust you no more. It's, it's damn hard to get it back.
Right.
And,
And that's great advice, or, a great, thing to think about. Like, I mean, me personally, I'm bringing 2 impacts, both 30 cal. I'm going to shoot the M3 as my main gun because it's the latest. But I'm going to bring my MK2 as a backup gun. I mean, you just never know. And that's some of the best advice, that I've ever gotten from anybody is always have a backup, dude. Because you just never know.
You don't, man. I mean, I shot, I was shooting with just a buddy of mine, just locally, man, and we were shooting for a case of beer. And I had one of my springers, and dude, there's nothing to go wrong on a springer. And we were shooting one 5-shot group at 50 yards, and he had bought a Marauder or something. And I told him, I'll shoot you one group for 5 shots, and we'll do it right here at dusk when the wind dies. Because I told him, man, I'm not going to compete in the wind, with this little light rifle. Well, we got out there about the time the sun set, the wind died, man. And I'm sitting there, and 3 shots into it, man, the spring breaks. Well, those springs normally last 20,000 shots, 30,000 shots.
Right.
It broke at the wrong time. I saw a guy with a day state electronic that was shooting amateur in my first EBR, and he was shooting good, man. He was shooting right beside me, and he was shooting that little bullpup. And he got about, I don't know, man, I think he had 6 targets left. The battery went dead. That's it. At EBR, you can't work on your gun at the bench. And his battery went dead, and that guy's just sitting there cocking it over and over and over, just trying to get it to fire 6 more times. It wouldn't do it. And this guy, I saw his target, man. I saw the way he was shooting. He was shooting his ass off, man. I mean, I don't know where he'd finished, but that dead battery cost him. And that's kind of stuff for me, like illumination on scope. Guys that rely on illumination. Me personally, I'd rather have thicker reticle and better glass. You don't have to worry about the battery going dead. But for some guys, it's important. But and I'm not picking on day state, man. Those FXs with 47 different O-rings and all them dials and something like that. And I mean, you pick your gun up and you touch one of them dials, and you don't realize that you moved it in the case, or somebody wanted to look at your gun or something. I think it's what happened to Ted. Somebody when people were looking at his gun. I mean, it's freaking Ted Beer, and they were looking at his gun. And when he got through shooting around, if I'm not mistaken, that's what it was. And whatever numbers he had, he had taped it on the side of his gun, so he knew where everything was set. and one of the dials was off. Somewhere down through there, somebody had turned the dial, and I'm sure it wasn't done maliciously. But by the time he realized, Houston, we have a problem, it's too late, man. When you're shooting at that level, if you have those, everybody with air guns is going to have that. Damn, man, that pellet screwed me. That just happens.
Right.
But if you're sitting there shooting and you realize, man, the last 5 shots have all hit low, and I'm shooting 7s instead of 10s, you can go ahead and case that shit up. There ain't no need staying, man, because the guys, you cannot win that level of competition with an equipment failure. There's no way. There's just no way around it. You can't. The guys are so good. If there's a chink in your armor, the other guys are good enough, that you can't catch up. If you ever drop 3 points, those are points you'll never get back. They're just gone.
Right, exactly. Right. It's not like a basketball game where good run of luck.
Yeah, you start shooting threes. Yeah, no.
Right.
No.
So holy crap, Chris Turk's in the house. And so, what's up, Joe?
Hey, what's up, Chris? Chris is cool, man. He's putting out some really
He's all right. He's from Michigan, so he's automatically all right.
Yeah, he's putting out some cool shit, man. We talked
on
there a couple of weeks ago, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good dude.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a clock or nothing, man. I don't know if we're running over or getting close or whatever.
Yeah, we're at an hour and 11 minutes, man. Listen, it's up to you, bro. I mean, we're cruising along. If there's something else we want to talk about, we can. I mean, honestly, just like I tell everybody else, hopefully you'll come back and join us again, and and in the future, and and just sit around chit chat with us. And this is why I do this live thing. It's my idea of just being able to get out and give people an opportunity to interact, ask questions, because there's not a lot of time for that, with everybody's schedules all the time. And obviously, I'd love to have Chris on the show, and I'm working with Norm and Keith to get 68 whiskey out here. And just because personally, like me and my son, we watch everything 68 whiskey together. My 4.5-year-old will literally sit there and be like, got him, or he'll go, perfect.
Those guys are a bunch of retards, but they're cool, man. I'm really looking forward to. I talk to Keith on the phone pretty regular, and excuse me, he's one of the guys, man, I really look forward to meeting in person.
Right.
And that's a fun thing, like for me, like Chris up North Airgunner, man, get to meet him in person. And what's weird, everybody's a little different, but meeting Ted and Matt and Giles, and I'd known Steve when this channel was really small, and some of these other guys, man, don't get me wrong, these guys are all nice, man. They're courteous to people, and they're fun to hang out with. But meeting the guys that, like you, talk on the phone a lot, or like Keith or Steve from Airgun Evolution, man. Steve and I talk on the phone really regularly, man. And he's helped me a lot with video stuff and that kind of stuff. But I've never got a chance to meet him in person, and at these events, man, you get to it. That makes it a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, for sure. And,
hey, Bruce, give me 30 seconds, man. I'll be right back.
Oh, somebody's got to pee.
I just heard my doorbell. I'll be right back.
All right. So, but anyway, yeah, what a great night. I mean, having Joe on here is awesome. And Chris, since you're here, might as well just put a bug in your ear. I'll text you or call you or something. And I'd love to have you join us on the show. I'd really like to have you on the show so we can talk some of the stuff that's going on in Michigan with legislation and stuff like that as well. I think it'd be cool to give a little bit more insight to what's happening, and hopefully your truck's all right, or gonna be all right anyway. Yeah, we will, Chris. Like I said, I'll text you or give you a call, and we'll set up a time and get you on here. But
Sorry, guys, man. I just ordered one of the new iPad Pros, and it was supposed to be delivered today. So when the doorbell rang, I'm not going to leave that expensive somebody sitting on the doorstep.
Right.
I ran out there and grabbed that.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, and I do all of my videos on iPads.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I actually, believe it or not, I do all mine on a Samsung tablet. But
okay.
It's
yeah, I've actually got a MacBook Air, and one of the guys that was nice enough, man, that follows my channel, sent it to me because I knew I didn't have a computer, and I use it a lot of times too when I'm home. But when I try to do as much traveling as I can. So when I'm traveling, the iPad's a lot more convenient, and a lot of times, like that Iraq veteran thing. When I left the range that day, I went back to the room, got showered, and all the guys were going to come over, and we all went out to eat and went back to the room, sat around and drank beer. Well, when I got back to the room, got showered, man, I just kicked back, in the bed there at the hotel room, man, and edited that whole video out. It took me about 3 hours. I think it came out great, for 3 hours worth of editing. But I'll sit there, with my puppy in my lap a lot of times here at the house. And my wife will be sitting over there watching TV, and I'll put my earbuds in, hook into my iPad, and the puppy will lay there in my lap and go to sleep. And I'll set the iPad on her back, and it's warm, and she likes that. And I'll just sit there and edit, man. We'll be up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning editing, videos. And, I like doing it on the iPads, and I've got really comfortable with it. So that's, use what you get comfortable with.
Yep. Yeah, and I have to actually say the same thing. Chris just said, "Thanks, Joe, for doing the video on how to capture bullet tracing. Seeing it with slugs and an air gun was crazy. Your tips in post-production editing made that possible." And
thanks, Chris.
it is true, man. Like I had no clue. And actually, when I saw Chris's video on it, of course, first thing I do is go out of focus a little bit and let's see what I can see. And it's crazy. It really is crazy. Like I had no clue, and that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I filmed some years ago, man, with a buddy of mine. He's a amateur / semi-professional photographer. He does some weddings and stuff, and he's got some really spooky, camera gear. And we were in New Mexico. We were shooting a 6.284, and he was behind me, and the sun was directly behind me, getting ready to set. And we were shooting 1,000 yards with that 6.284, and you could see not only the shock wave, but when we slowed it down, and that was the first time I'd seen anything with really good slow motion. And when you slowed it down in the middle of that shock wave, you could see that bullet going down through there. Oh, it was wicked. And, it's amazing what you can get with really good cameras. A good example is Steve at AEAC, Dana at Mountain Sport Airguns. Dana stuff, and it's like, oh, man, his camera works so good. And, it's an expensive camera. I mean, these guys are good. Don't get me wrong, all the editing and everything else and the setups and everything. But, yeah, good cameras, man. They go a long ways.
Yep. So once again, just to plug this in while everybody's watching, because not everybody watches live. A lot of times people watch later on. If you guys are not subscribed to Cyclops' videos, definitely go check out Cyclops Joe. His videos are outstanding. Definitely check out Up North Air Gunner Chris Turek. The guy is, like, seriously, if you are interested in the nuts and bolts of air gunning, or hunting, or just like all the nuts and bolts things that you would never really think about, check out Chris Turek's channel. You guys know me, man. I'm more of just a flash and bang kind of guy. I'm like, hey, look, brand new, woo, shiny, look, a bang, it shoots, and blah blah.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got their niche, and mine is more just like, yeah, whatever. But some other channels like Mountain Sport Air Gunning. Like I mean, dude, I personally really enjoy watching these videos. They're entertaining, and that's really what does it for me. Is he takes his guns out into the desert and just like tears it up, man. And it's fun watching Marley run around and You know, I mean,
Oh
there's
yeah.
so much going on. It's just great video, guys. And
Oh yeah. Dana's good people, man. Him and
yeah,
Terry, the
yeah,
guy that he goes out with, and
yep,
that's offhand air gunner. Yeah, man.
yep,
They're just great folks, man. They're just, I can't say enough nice things about them, man, and how much they've helped me when I went from using a phone and an iPad to a camera. I was really intimidated by that, man. I mean, guys just don't know. Moose, you probably did. We're just close to the same age. Guys that grow up now, they grow up with all this digital technology. I grew up with typewriters. We
yeah,
actually still took typing in school, and we did wood shop and shit. So, the cameras, it seemed like something way over my head. And then Dana and Kurt Vaughn at Vaughn Precision, I just worried them to death. How do I do this? How do I do that? Which one do I pick? And, they kept me from making a bunch of bad decisions and, kept me from just wasting a ton of money, which I did. I had the money to get the cameras. I just didn't have enough money to do it twice.
right,
I needed to be able to hit it the first time, and a lot of guys that don't have channels don't realize how much the other YouTubers communicate with each other.
right,
To try to, I'll see something on one of their channels, man. How the hell did you do that? Or what lens was that? Or, what editing software are you using? Or, how'd you do that speed ramping and a bunch of other stuff? And just the lighting. The light that I've got set up here now, I turned around. Some of the guys won't see it, but it's a big filtered screen light, and it's got a light bulb that duplicates daylight.
yep.
So I
I've
mean, if
got
you
two
look
of
at
them,
my
one sitting right over there and one sitting right over there. The
yeah,
one that's sitting over there is the one that actually faces my bar, where
yeah,
I do the majority of my reviews. And and lighting is important, and and you don't have to spend a ton of money on lighting. I mean, like I bought like an entire there's a brand out there called Newer, and it's very internet, like on Amazon and eBay. And I think for like under $200, I got like 5 different lights, the background screen, which is black, green, or I think it's black, green, and white, and with all the stuff on it and all that good stuff. But no, I'm in the it's kind of funny because I use GoPros, and I'm quickly figuring out that GoPros are great if there's good lighting, and
right. They suck in low light.
they do. And and so now I'm kind of looking into, and I'm going to probably be reaching out to you and asking you, what cameras you're using, because I need something that can do a little bit better in low lighting.
Yeah.
And just there's a lot that goes into it, and and I don't think people realize, um, exactly how much money we as content creators put out of our pockets to be able to
Yeah, man.
bring content to people. I mean, it's not just, oh, I'm going to use my phone. I mean, we've all seen the guys that use phones. They generally don't have great videos. It's really hard to make out a lot of stuff. And I'm
The
always
audio sucks.
I'm always trying to watch my own videos to see where like I know I have a lack of lighting on one side. Like either I need to move my light or I need to add a second light over there for when I'm doing my bench stuff and I'm just talking about things, because generally everything to my left is a little more shaded and dark, and everything to my right looks great and I look great, but the end of whatever gun or whatever I'm talking about, and so it's constant. It's always constantly moving and trying to do better and put out better stuff. I mean, I looked at some of my videos from when I first started back in December, and I was like, ugh,
Yeah,
ugh,
yeah. Oh,
jeez.
everybody has that, man. I look at, and what sucks for me, a lot of my videos that get the most views on a daily or weekly or monthly basis are some of my older videos, and they're so poorly made. But it's like, man, I wish I had better videos that were getting the most views. Where
Right,
guys could see, hey, man, the audio quality's better now, the camera quality, the you know, the editing, man, everything about it, you know, it is a better, higher standard. And I feel like I've gotten better on camera, but you know, it's like whatever, man. And, you know, whatever the first impression is, if they like them, you know, maybe they'll stick around and, you know, check some of the other shit out later. But if they don't, that's cool too, you know. But, you know, everybody, it's a learning curve, man. And they're really good YouTubers like Matt. Matt had a big step. Don't get me wrong, man. Matt's stuff is great. But Matt had a big jump on everybody because he was already a videographer. He already edited videos. That's what he was doing for a living. So when he started his own channel, that was not something he had to learn.
Right.
You know, guys that Tim at Airguns Leshy channel, Tim's a computer geek and he's cool as hell. But like all the cool, you know, editing tricks that he knows how to do, making things into cartoons and shit like that, you know, that none of the other Airgunners are doing. You know, Tim already knew how to do all that. So when he got his channel going, he was you know, he was ahead of the curve, the learning curve. And for me, I'm just now getting with my camera. I used to try to, in After Effects, change up. Well, that's, you know, I need more contrast, or I need this and I need that. And something that Dana and them showed me, you know, the closer you can keep to the native image, you know, don't alter it, you know, get it just like you want it when you actually film it, the better it's going to look. Because if you degrade, you know, if you do something, it degrades it, you know, and it just keeps degrading the image. And everybody's seen them where the blacks look just fake black, or, you know, their skin tones look kind of messed up. And it's because they altered it so much in post. And that's something I'm really, really trying to get better at, is getting my camera set up where it's filming exactly the way I want. As a matter of fact, I filmed one today, this entry, the little talking head entry to the Dow scope. And when I loaded it up on my iPad out of the camera, took the SD card out, put it in the iPad. I mean, seriously, I was ready to stop by champagne. It's like, finally fucking nailed it out of the camera. Right. You know, finally I got it just like I wanted it, you know. And but it's just a learning curve, man. You know, and it takes, everybody learns it at a different speed. You know, some guys put up, you know, 75 videos and they got 100,000 subscribers. You know, my channel's got probably close to 300 videos and it just passed 60. You know, there's other channels, man, that have hundreds of videos, man, that don't have 1,500 subscribers. You don't know, you know, you never know what's going to catch on, you know, or what's going to move your channel forward. And like this time last year, a lot of YouTubers, they get discouraged because they'll start ramping up and it's like, man, my views are going up, my subscribers are going up. You know, this is great, man. My channel's really growing. 6 months ago, I was getting over 100 subscribers a day. Now it's down to about 20 to 25. You know, it's just in a lull. It just goes up and down every time the algorithm changes. You know, the political climate changes. You know, there's a shooting somewhere and, you know, they'll start knocking the gun channels down, or they'll quit recommending them and stuff. You never know. And, you know, guys that live and die by the numbers, you know, I worry about them, man, because the only time I ever know how many subscribers I got is if somebody says something to me, because I only look at it. I guarantee you, man, I could guess closer to how many your subscribers you got. And, you know, Chris and some of the other guys, it's just, you know, just don't sweat it, man. Try to improve the content, you know, try to put out better videos, man, more entertaining videos. And for me, the videos I make are the way I would want to see them. You know, a lot of guys want to see scope videos and they want to see guys, you know, TJ hookering across cars with AR, and that's cool, and it makes a cool video, but you didn't tell me jack shit about that scope by doing that. Wasting 3 minutes out there shooting gongs. All you showed me was that you know how to wear camo and you can shoot gongs with an AR. Man, that didn't help me in any way. You know, so you know, and because mine is more of a product review video now, and you know, I try to get right to it. You know, I don't want to try to stretch it out as long as I can. Where like Chris with North Airgunner, you know, doing the hunting and stuff like that, like Dana, you know, you want to feel like you're along for the hunt. So you want to see the campfire, man. You want to see, driving in on the trail in the Jeep, and everybody out there practicing, and getting dressed and stuff. You want to feel like you're part of the hunt. So that, everybody's niche is a little different. Where mine, I just feel like, me personally, like if I want to go in and look, I've been shopping for a new car. I want to go in there and the guys tell me what kind of car it is, show it to me up close, let me see it working, and then let me go. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. If you don't mind, subscribe. Appreciate you. See you. And that's the way I try to do my videos.
Right. Yeah, and just like Chris just said, the best advice is do it because you love it, and don't worry about the subs. And that's exactly it. Like I said, that's exactly how I feel. Like I am who I am. What you see now is what you're going to see if you meet me in person. When I'm ramped up and having a good time and being foul mouthed, and not that I'm saying that that's the most appropriate way to be all the time. It's still the same way I am in public too.
Right.
I've got a wild hair in my ass, and and I like to have a good time and party, and and just be me.
I honestly think, man, of the guys I know personally that had channels and just either stopped or just don't put out content anymore, maybe put out a video once every 6 months or a year. Hey guys, I know maybe y'all wondering where I've been. Here's what's going on in my life and stuff like that. But the majority of the guys that I know personally, they either got burnt out on YouTube or just said screw it. They got too hung up on the numbers, man. It'll drive you nuts, man. It's like sitting around watching your 401k. 1 month, man, you're up, however many $1,000s, and next month you're down $30,000. You can't watch that. It'll drive you nuts.
Right.
The best thing on YouTube, like I say, man, I'm always trying to think about, a new way to film the next video, or something that I think will be entertaining to say in a video or add to it, or, some effects and stuff that's not going to take over, where it just becomes you can't watch it because there's too much shit going on, and like I said, that's where my mind goes, man. I'm trying to think of ways to improve it. And for me, the biggest improvement is going to be the iPad, because I can do everything in 4K and higher resolution and stuff like that. And I've got to get a better camera. I've got the only way mine's going to reach what like Dana's is I've got to go out and get that real expensive camera. And, oh man, it's hard. It's hard to pull the trigger on that shit, or it is for me.
It's hard for me to pull the trigger on the damn refurbed ATN right now.
Dude, man, because the camera I want right now, it's like $1,300, and that's not even a mirrorless camera. The only reason I don't want mirrorless is I've got about probably $2,000 worth of lenses. That if I move to mirrorless, I got to buy adapters, or I got to buy all new lenses.
Right.
And guys don't realize, man, I've got 2 lenses that cost more than the damn camera. The one I do my talking head stuff with, that's about a $700 lens. And, it's sitting on a $500 camera. I know that sounds crazy, but then again, I got a $3,000 scope sitting on top of a $1,500 rifle. So, it's just whatever makes sense,
Right. But, right. And it's funny that you say that too, because, as a content creator who doesn't get, like, I don't get a ton of free stuff, right? Like I get cool stuff from like companies like Trigger Safe, right? And they send me their stuff to review, and and then, by the way, listen, seriously, Trigger Safe, these guys got it nailed down, man. This is some cool stuff. You can definitely check out my video, but sometimes that's what it boils down to, is you're like, all right, do I buy another gun to review, or do I just review the ones that I have that I keep talking about wanting to do more reviewing on, or do I buy a new optic, or do I buy this, or do I buy that? And generally for me, the thing that suffers the most is the gear to actually do the recording and the videoing and everything else, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's generally the last thing that I think about is, I need a new camera. or maybe I need maybe a new style of lighting or something like that. So yeah, I hear you, man. It's
Well, I mean, today the talking head part of the intro I did on this video is the total rough footage is about 7 minutes, but to get the camera set up, and then I'll link one of my iPads to it so I can sit down and see exactly how I'm framed up, make sure I got the lighting, exposure and everything set right. To get that part of it done was about a half hour before I could sit down and do 8 minutes worth of footage.
right.
I'll go out to the range and film through a scope, and it'll take me, honest to God, man, it is well over an hour before I ever push record, because I gotta get two to three tripods set up. I gotta get the target downrange at 100 yards, make sure it's lasered at exactly 100 yards, because I do the to make sure that's tracking the amount it's supposed to, and then get back, get the scope set in the fixture, get everything strapped down, and like the fixture weighs like 30 pounds. I'll get out there and strap all that stuff down, winch it down, and then I'll start setting the camera up. And then I'll have to get this camera set off to the side to film the turrets. And what'll frustrate me a lot of times, and a lot of the companies that I really don't like, Vortex, will be because I'll get these scopes in, I'll go out there, I'll spend an hour setting up, and reach up to turn the turrets, and it's frozen, or it's all gummed up, or it's all screwed up. So now I take all my stuff in the backyard. I don't care if it's a $30 scope or $3,000 scope. That shit goes in the backyard, and I test it in the backyard before I ever take it to range, man, because it's frustrating to go out there and set up, and then nothing. You didn't get any footage, or all content, they call it content creators, know this. You go out and you get everything done, and you realize you didn't turn the mic on, or you got out there and you had the exposure set wrong, or the focus is going back and forth. You didn't lock in the focus. I see that a lot on the newer YouTubers. They'll film with a phone, and instead of locking it, they'll just take it, and it's just looking at it, it's just the image is going in and it's going out. It's going in, it's going out. It's going in, it's going, because it's looking for the focus and the focus point instead of being locked in the exposure. Dude, when I see that kind of stuff, I immediately turn off the video. I just can't watch it. Because after doing it so much of trying to get it right, and then see somebody else doing it, basically, you see what you don't like about your videos and theirs. Oh hell no, I'm not gonna watch this. I can't. That pisses me off. When I do it,
Right. Yeah, Chris. Maybe tomorrow. Let me. I'll text you tomorrow, and maybe tomorrow night Chris Turk can join us live here on Airguns, Michigan.
Well, you guys reach out to him, man, because I want to watch it when Chris is on it.
I'll text you.
Okay.
And we'll make sure to stay in touch. But yeah, I wish you and I honestly would have had more time. It's kind of funny because I actually called Joe today on my way home from Vortec, from dropping off my gun to Tom out at Vortec. And, I was just like, hey, man, I was just reaching out, touch base, see what you were up to, when you might want to join me on a live. And Joe goes, what about tonight? Well, normally when I have somebody like you on my show, I want a few days or like a week, because I ramp it up with, Instagram posts about like, hey, don't forget to join us live, or, I ramp it up on Facebook, or maybe I'll mention it a few times on YouTube. So that way everybody's kind of ready, but it is what it is, and it's no big deal. But
I can tell you one thing, man. When I went to this Iraq veteran thing, man, I hung out with a bunch of other YouTubers, not any of the, I guess you quote, big gun YouTubers, but a bunch of other guys, and it was to the newer YouTubers, it was like, well, man, you've got this many subscribers, so it's kind of like high school. You're a senior. We're just sophomores and stuff like that. And I said, dude, man, don't get me wrong, man. I appreciate all the work and stuff that like Eric and then the guys at 22 Blankster, these guys that have 1 million+ subscribers. That's cool, man. That's great. And I'm really happy for them if they're making a good living and can take care of their family. But for regular guys, man, I'll meet people and it's like, oh, you're on YouTube? Yeah, man. How many? And they'll look me up. Oh my God, you got this many subscribers. It's like, dude, honest to God, man, I don't think any different about YouTube now than when I had my biggest benchmark on YouTube. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, you could have knocked me over with a feather. I
Right.
mean, I literally could not believe 1,000 people would subscribe to my dumbass channel. You know,
Right.
and that was a big one. If I hit 100,000, I think that'll probably be a big one. But the rest of them is just, you know, I'm vaguely aware of it, but I learned a long time ago, man, get too wrapped up in it. You know, this week the channel's doing good, then it like say mine, because I do optics during the middle of the summer, people are fishing, people are going on vacation, you know, they're swimming, they're not buying rifle scopes. So my views naturally go down. Then, you know, about the time gun season gets here at the end of bow season, all of a sudden my views go up.
Yeah.
And, you know, and even then sometimes it's later in the year before it does it. And some years I have better years than others, you know, but it's just, you know I'm trying to put out better content. I'm still trying to be me and have fun. And if guys like it, the guys that watch my channel regular, they're going to enjoy it. You know, and
Yep.
I make it more for them than to try to draw in new guys. And because the guys that have stuck with my channel, a lot of them, man, supported me financially. And my wife and I live a kind of a modest lifestyle, man. We're not poor, but we live a modest lifestyle, man. And a lot of stuff, man, I've done on YouTube, I couldn't have done it if other guys hadn't helped me. You know, I didn't have at EBR, somebody stole one of my iPads, and it was the only one I had. And one of the guys there, man, Mike, guys may know him online by Crusher. I mean, this guy bought me an iPad. You know, I don't know him from nobody, man, but he knew I couldn't afford one.
Right.
You know, he bought me an iPad, man. One of the guys bought me a MacBook Air, man. You know, guys are have gifted for, you know, cameras and different stuff like that. And that's the reason on mine, you know, the guys that haven't seen my channel, I try to have a giveaway at least once every 2 to 3 weeks, man, with all these scopes, because hell, I don't need all. You know what I mean? I could milk every dime out of it and try to sell them, but man, I'd much rather give them to somebody that can't afford a scope like that, or maybe haven't had a chance to, you know, to own a good scope.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
You know, and if they're going to watch my channel, why not let them have it?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, and actually that brings up a great point. So I do airgun giveaways, right? So we're on the 4th airgun that I'm gonna be giving away. It's in a Celcon, but this Christmas we're giving away an FX airgun. We're gonna give away an FX airgun. We're gonna give away a hand pump with it. We're gonna give away a scope. We're gonna give away everything that you need that you can start shooting an FX airgun. And maybe if you you know, have a scope maybe that you have laying around that maybe you want to, you know, join in on the giveaway, then you know, we're gonna put together a whole package. I'm working with High Pressure Pneumatics. Him and I are gonna basically split the cost of the FX, you know, and it just is what.
I'll get you a scope. I'm good for scopes. I got the scopes for the giveaways and stuff like that. And a lot of times, I've kind of give up on a little bit like the fundraisers. And I did one for my cousin who is on the bass fishing team. And they actually got to go to college on bass fishing, if you believe that.
Yeah. That was cool.
They lost all their funding, and I did a giveaway on, or a fundraiser on that. And a lot of stuff, man, as my channel luckily has grown, I used to always wonder, man, why don't some of these guys with these larger channels have more giveaways? And why don't they give shout outs to other channels? No good deed goes unpunished, man. Every single time I do like one of my comment videos, and I'll tell guys, hey man, as long as y'all are here, y'all check this channel out. You know, it's really worthwhile and stuff like this. For every one channel I recommend, there's 10. Hey dude, why don't you give me a shout out? Man, I thought we're buddies. Why don't you helping me out? Or, you know, I'll have a giveaway and it's like, you know, man, this is bullshit. I've entered 10 of your giveaways. I've never won one. And it's like, dude, there's 4,000 people entered that giveaway. You know, there's actually been at least 2 guys here tonight that have won one. I know Richard won one, Mitch won one. you know, and I mean, it's all done random, you know, number generator, but, you know, I had these giveaways, and I gave away a Leupold. It was a Leupold LRP, $1,000 scope. So I gave this Leupold away, and I can't remember where the guy was from, somewhere up north anyway, but I paid, it's my dime to ship it. Leupold gave me the scope. I did a review, and then I gave it away. And I mean, about 2 weeks later, this guy's on commenting on, I mean, I guess he just copied and pasted, put it on all these videos that, you know, I was some rip-off artist. It wasn't a brand new scope. It was a scope that he tested on his channel. It's already been mounted. And it's like, dude, yeah, it's the scope I mounted. You know, I don't own a Leupold outlet, you know. And it's like, yeah, it's the exact scope that I mounted, you know, or that I tested in my video, and I sent it out. And a lot of times, I'm really flattered when they ask me this, but a lot of times the guys want me to sign the scope, you know, or show the serial number, you know, in the video, so they can say, yeah, that's my fucking scope, you know.
Right.
And but this guy, man, he's on YouTube. He's just blowing me out, you know, like I cheated him or something. It's like, dude, I gave you the scope. You didn't buy it. You know, I gave you this freaking thing, you know. And the one that gets me the worst, man, is when guys, when I have a giveaway and then guys leave comments, you know, these are fake giveaways. This guy's full of shit. You know, he's not actually giving this stuff away. And it's like, dude, you know, I could be, instead of being on here, you know, at the end of my videos, I could say, hey, man, if y'all want a new scope, you know, I'm selling this thing for $800, $1,000, whatever hell it is. You know, shoot me an email. I could do that, but I'm literally giving it away.
Right.
But there are guys out there, man, like I say, you know, no good deed goes unpunished, you know.
Yeah.
But,
you know,
but for me, man, you got to have thick skin, you know, and as your channel gets bigger, man, the skin has to grow thicker, man. Because
you know, it's funny because I have a zero troll policy, and I mean that with all my heart. I don't give a fuck if I lose subscribers. I don't give a fuck if dude unsubscribes from me. If you come into my channel and you troll me in any way, I am going to block you from my YouTube channel. I don't give a shit. If it's a joke and you're just trying to be funny, and maybe it could be read either way, I might reach out to you and ask for clarification. But all in all, I just don't care, because, like, you know, just like Turk was saying, if you're not doing this to have fun, like me, this isn't income for me, dude. I mean, I just became monetized thanks to this guy, because he did give my channel a shout out, and it did push me over 1,000. And then once I hit my 4,000 hours of watch time, I was monetized. And you know, I've made 25 bucks off of Facebook, or I mean YouTube. And I haven't even seen it, because you still got to wait like 2 months before. And I don't even know how they give it to me.
Yeah, you have to
nobody's ever asked me for banking info yet.
Oh, dude, I can remember my first $100. Me and Tom Adams got monetized about the same time.
Yeah.
And I got my first check, and I think I'd been monetized. You had to have at least $100 to get your first check. And I got mine in like 4 months, and Tom got his in 5, and he was so pissed off for $100. $100. And in that span of time, we both had probably spent $5,000 on gear, and, you know, I no telling how many hours making videos, man. It's not until your channel gets a certain size, the money in it, man, and even the YouTube money. One of the best pieces of advice Steve Shalley ever gave me was, the money on YouTube is not on the YouTube, you know, ads. You know, there are channels that make a huge amount of money, the guys that get millions of views on videos, have millions of subscribers. But guys that are in the gun channels, and even the biggest gun channels like Eric and Matt at Demolition Ranch, the majority of their videos are not even monetized. You know, that's the reason they're on there pushing OLite, or, you know, they'll be talking about this or that, or the armor plate and different stuff like that, because that's how they make their money off of it.
Right.
And some of the, like the Gun Collective, they don't monetize any of their videos anymore, because once put out a video and they decide it's not good for monetization, nobody ever sees it again. It just dies in search. So they don't even bother with it. But it's the, it's the guys that get paid up front, to make the videos, the products that you sell. For me, it's been, because I get so many scopes in, as I finish them, I either sell them or have a giveaway. And, I try to do about half and half. I try to sell about half and give away half. As a matter of fact, this year at Christmas, I'm giving away a $3,000 scope.
Nice.
And I just got through giving away an Air Venturi with a ride-on it. The guy, I had a heel hand pump, ride-on threw in some rings. And actually, one of the guys that watches my channel, Bart, donated the rifle. And I thought that was really generous. I didn't mean to buy the rifle, man, but I had a full package, man. And Airgun Depot donated a bunch of pellets, and I had a bunch of hats and different promotional stuff like that. But I don't get to do the gun stuff much anymore because there's so many airgun channels. And, I just, I guess I could if I wanted to, but I'm having a good time with the optics. That's still fun for me. And when it stops being fun, then I'll start doing, some other stuff too. But there's so many good airgun channels out there that I just felt like when I was doing it, I was getting lost in the crowd. Nobody was seeing, I didn't feel like anybody was seeing my videos. And then when I'd make a scope video, it'd get more views. And guys were telling me, hey, man, that was really helpful. Where I do an airgun video and say if I did an FX, guys are like, oh, so you're an FX kiss ass. Also I'm not even going to see anything else. Oh, now you're a sellout. And I would say up front, hey, guys, I didn't pay for this. This was donated to my channel. And, but, as soon as they see that, they immediately, because I can't imagine a group of airgunners that catch more hell than the guys that are FX shooters. These guys, it's just negative comment after negative comment all day long on every video they do. And everybody knows who the FX shooters are. And, as a matter of fact, man, there's a few of them, man, that, there's times they'll just take a break from it, man. I'm not going to put out videos for a while because, they get trolled so freaking much and they just get tired of it, man. And I honestly think, man, that's a big part of the reason you don't see very many videos from Ted anymore.
Right.
He caught so much hell for so long that it's like, screw this, man. I don't need this shit, man. I started this to try to help people, and he really did. To show off his shooting skills and stuff and help him work on guns. I remember when he put out that Marauder Depinger video. I did mine the exact same way he did, and I'm sitting there with Ted's video playing as I'm tearing my Marauder down. And now everything he does, everybody just rips into him and stuff. And he's a good dude, man. It's just he's an easy target because he's got the biggest airgun audience. Matt's the same way. Matt and those guys started Element, and they're all FX shooters, man. They're their channel's big. So, they people go after them. Hey, man, you're a sellout. You're doing this and doing that. And it's like, dude, they're just trying to pay their bills like everybody else. They put out so many videos, put out so much work. And if they're able to get ahead a little financially through their channel, I don't see any reason to be mad at them. Just as long as they let guys know up front, this is, a paid promotional item.
Yep.
And like on mine, man, I tell all the companies, the product gets you the video, but my opinion is not for sale, and that pisses them off. But hey, dude, that's it. I'll make the video, and you'll see it when I release it. But but like I said, I don't take either money up front, and there are a lot of times I turn that down because I don't want to feel obligated to it. But that's not right for everybody.
Right.
And the guys that do take money up front, man, I'm not mad at them at all. But I like the way like Steve Shalley does it. AEAC is brought to you by JSB. He lists all the sponsors. Steve doesn't make any secret about this is what I'm doing for a living.
Hey, dude, he's got some of the greatest videos, seriously.
Oh, yeah, man. Like I say, I really, really respect that, man, compared to some of the guys that, guys say on the take, they're being paid for the, for the videos, and they don't admit it, or they won't ever own up to it. And those are the ones that, it's hard for me to swallow, not just in air guns, not just in rifle scopes, man, anything.
Yeah.
You know, some of the, like say, I've been looking for a new vehicle, and some of the videos that I watch about vehicles, you know, these guys are being paid to say nice things. And when they do say something negative, it's very, very small, and it's really hidden in there.
Right,
you know?
right. It's very subtle. Right.
Oh man, they won't tell you, you know, the engine on this thing sucks, you know, or the gas mileage sucks. You know, they'll just, you know, the gas mileage is not as good as others in its class. You know, they won't just tell you, damn man, this thing got 9 miles to a gallon. You know, they won't just out and say that shit. You know.
Yeah. Sure. What's up, Roy? And on that note, man, I could sit here and talk to you for hours, man. Like I said, hopefully you'll come back and join us again. We're at the 2-hour mark, and I got a little boy waiting upstairs to say his prayers tonight before he goes to bed.
All you guys that tuned in, man, or watching this later, man, I really, really appreciate y'all watching it, man. It means a lot to me when I get asked to do this kind of thing, because I don't have high enough speed internet where I live to be able to host these things. So being able to come on as a guest, man, is a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, please come back and join us again the next month or so, and you know, we'll talk some more stuff. But till next time, I definitely appreciate you guys joining. I am Moose. This is Airguns Michigan. That's Joe, Cyclops Videos. Check him out. Till next time, take care. Be good to each other, and God bless you.